first podcast from Empress Canaries. Right now, it's probably just going to be called the Empress Canaries Podcast because I just decided to do this willy-nilly right now. So that's what it's going to be called. Might change the name later, but who cares and who knows? Nobody does. Basically, I've been looking to do a podcast for a long time, and I've been listening to the Skared Cast lately on 40K Nation, and I just decided right now that I'm going to do a podcast. I have no idea how often they'll happen. I have no idea if I'm going to make another one, so you're just going to have to, I guess, find out by seeing the future. You might want to hire some Eldar. Basically, let's go through. I've got me a rough format for this episode, so it is somewhat structured, and I don't ramble as much. Sounds great. First up, I'm going to introduce the podcast. That's what I just did. I'm going to go through some 40K news, going to go through what I think is awesome, just in general, what army I've been running, what games I've been playing, what projects I've been working on, because I always have a lot of those. I have a section I'm going to be calling What's Up With That? It might also be called What's Up With That? Where I basically just rant about shit. And then I'm going to close out the episode with an idea for a stupid list. That's pretty much how I think this is going to end up going. I guess we'll find out as we go along. So, first up, 40K news. I think you pretty much all have heard by now that the new Chaos Codex is coming out. And if you don't know, then you haven't been to any rumor site, and you haven't been to GW site because it's on there for pre-order. So, it's pretty hard to miss at this point. Now they've got quite a few models up there already. Obviously not everything, but they've got the Helldrake, the Forge Fiend / Mauler Fiend, the Raptor / Warp Talons, the Warpsmith, Dark Apostle, Mutilators, there's some other little minuscule things on there, and a whole bunch of fine-casted crap that already existed. So, as far as all of those go, gosh, I'm going to have to continue the rest of this in the rant section, but basically you can go ahead and check those out there on GW site now, so you have to look at like photocopies of like a picture of a White Dwarf like issue from a distance from a camera phone, because they're actually up on their site now, so you can see some good pictures of those. So I'll talk about the models a little bit more in depth later, but basically the Helldrake is a flying metal dragon. The Forged Fiend / Mauler Fiend is either a shooting or an assaulting monstrous creature looking walker thing. I really don't remember what it's classified as. And then there's the Raptors / Warp Talons, which are Chaos Assault Marines, the Warpsmith and Dark Apostle, which is I guess similar to a Tech Marine maybe, and a Chaplain. And then the Mutilators, which are Close Combat Obliterators. So be sure to check all those out. They are kind of cool models, but they're painted up nicely at least. Also, Chaos Codex, all this stuff's coming out October 5th, so be sure to check that out. There's all sorts of pictures and rumors and leaks, as always, of all the new rules for the Chaos Codex, and they seem pretty awesome. So, while the Chaos Codex has a pretty hefty price on it, it is hardcover, and it's in the same style as the fantasy codexes that have been coming out. So if you've got like the Tomb King's book, or I believe it's the Ogre Kingdoms, the new Ogre Kingdoms book, those are all the new hardcover, full color, and they really do look nice. It's a little bit rough on the price for that, so I'm definitely probably going to buy it like from somewhere other than Games Workshop Direct, maybe the War Store or something like that, just because over $40 for a codex is a little hard. But the book is really nice. I like my Tomb King's book. I really am happy with it. The full color and then just the design and the setup of it is a lot easier to understand, and it flows a lot better. So I'm sure it's going to be really cool, and from what I've heard, some of the new fluff in it is awesome. Among other things, there's a cool Thousand Suns story in there. There's I think there might be a Space Wolf story. There's a lot of different stories of chaos killing different things as well. So I'm looking forward to reading all those. I usually don't even bother reading the fluff in the codexes, but everything I've heard, they're pretty awesome. So I might actually care this time. And other things in 40K news, Forge World is releasing all this, just dumping crap tons of pre-heresy stuff, Horus Heresy. So there's all of these giant, like, $100 books of Forge World stuff coming out, where it's like, this is the whole campaign. of, you know, these battles for, you know, during the Horus Heresy and everything like that. So you're getting all these new pre-heresy models that you're actually getting. As much as I love and hate this, you're going to be getting models and stats for all the Primarchs. I love the idea of models for Primarchs. I loathe the idea of stats, but, you know, it'll still be fun to field, even if it's not as incredible as they are in the fluff. The pre-heresy stuff along with that, there's all sorts of new like tank variants and weird gun things coming out, and just in general, the campaign book's going to be really incredible from Forge World. They always do a good job with Imperial armor, and these Imperial armor, they're doing an even better job, in my opinion, with these, with as far as setting up battles, like, oh, you can play this specific battle that happened with these two chapters fighting each other, and this is kind of what armies they were bringing and all that kind of stuff. So that's going to be really cool. I mean, I think there's a new there's all the new variants of Contemptors coming out with the different legions icons on them and stuff, which will be really sweet. So that's pretty much it in 40k news, so be sure to check all that out. That's all near future stuff. And Horus Heresy series is supposed to be a continuing set of books, so it's not just like one or two. They're going to keep going and cover all of their bases with that. So, moving on to what is awesome. I think GW's facts are awesome. Their FAQs this time around are unbelievable. And every time we have a game, we're like, wow, this is an awfully confusing situation. Then we check the FAQ, and wow, holy crap, it's actually there. So Games Workshop has been very prompt on their FAQs. Skared from Skared Cast talked about this as well in his last podcast, and they really are. It's just mind-boggling. If you've been playing this game for a long time, you probably know what we're talking about, where all of the sudden, after playing this game for 15 years and only seeing an FAQ come out like once every other year or something like that for an army, we've had 2 FAQs already. We've got book FAQ, and not only does it clarify things that were confusing, which they never did before, they just made shit more confusing, but they also fix stuff that's stupid, and even if it's not broken, but they fix shenanigans and just shystiness in general. So they got rid of all the character status for paladins and for knobs, and they changed the way Lookout Sir works, just straight up changed the way that it works. They didn't just say that it was interpreted incorrectly. They actually changed it as to, you know, to reduce shenanigans and make the game less stupid. So props to them. Really hoping GW is kind of sticking with this. I kind of consider this Games Workshop 3.0 now. 1.0, I guess, would be 2nd edition. 2.0 would be 3rd edition to 5th edition, which honestly, in my opinion, was all pretty much the same. White Dwarf obviously was a lot better in the beginning of 3rd edition, but as far as the way they run their company and the way the game played and everything, that was all kind of the same damn thing for a long time. So, as weird and silly and long and sometimes awkward as 6th edition is right now, if they keep supporting it and the codexes that come out are as cool as it seems like they're going to be, 6th edition is probably going to end up being pretty boss. So I think that's pretty much it for the GW FAQs. Make sure you check them out. They seem to be updating them pretty often. Obviously, all the Horus Heresy stuff from Forge World is awesome, especially if you haven't already checked it out. Go to Forge World's website, and you can take a look. They've got some stuff up there. But there's like the model for Angron and everything up online already on Forge World's website, and it is super awesome, sexy, cool looking. It's just this model comes with not just a model, but it comes with like a whole display sort of like him chopping Marines to pieces and them flying backwards and everything. And his armor is just awesome. And from what I've, Angron's one of the smaller Primarchs, and he's just towering above these people. So make sure you check out all the Forge World stuff coming out for the pre-heresy. Let's see. What else is awesome? I think that gaming conventions are awesome. Origins is the only one I've been to extensively so far, but and that's a smaller one as far as gaming conventions go, especially 40k. 40k is not like a main focus, but even then, Origins has been really fun. But tournaments, gaming conventions like Nova that have these big tournaments and Adepticon, they basically set the standard for tournaments. It's kind of, in my opinion, it's what Games Workshop is modeled 6th edition in a lot of ways off of, and it's how they've determined what things to FAQ and how. Nova and all these tournaments make their FAQs and they say this is how we're going to play it because it's ambiguous, and they really help set the tone for what is the way it should be, and Games Workshop seems to be following, because people who run Nova are good at running Nova. People who run Games Workshop aren't that great at running a tournament. So I am really happy to see them kind of taking cues from the people who are good at this kind of thing, and these kind of gaming conventions, in my opinion, have really kept the game going, because, well, without all these tournaments that people get really excited about worldwide, that kind of thing, without people like Reese Robbins from Frontline Gaming, who plays and basically created Footar, without people like Kirby, without people like back in the day. That's strange to say back in the day now, but like Way of Siam Ham with Fritz and Java Balls and all them, without all these people really keeping the media end of the blogs, the articles, the YouTube videos, without all these people keeping all this stuff up, and all these people go Hulk Smash and all them go to all these major tournaments, and without all of that support, and that's part of the game, it really wouldn't be as popular as it is, because people wouldn't, where would you go for information? Where would you go for tactics? Where would you go, for really just anything gaming related? Games Workshop doesn't put out all these articles about how to play your army, or even how to paint your army for the most part. There's an article here or there, but that's it, So, these major tournaments like Nova, I really think is awesome. It's not exactly the same with a convention like Origins, or something like Comic-Con or anything like that. But I really have enjoyed Origins, and it's been a really good inspiration, because at Origins, which is in Columbus, Ohio, it's every June pretty much, either early June or late June. I've gone 2 years in a row now, and I think 5 of us from my group went last year. And it's just a fun time, It's this big gaming convention. There's a huge vendor hall. They're selling all kinds of stuff, like board games, card games, all sorts of different miniature games. So it's really fun to go there and just get a taste of what's out there other than 40K, or what gamers play 40K and play other stuff, and what do they play. And you really get to build a lot of friendships. I saw a lot of people there last year that I saw the year before, and it's really sweet to see. It's cool to see where kind of gaming might be going, because Origins focuses a lot on up and coming games, individuals who are starting new gaming businesses, gaming companies, and a lot of games there that are shown at Origins, even if they're not on sale yet, will be like released for Gen Con a month or two later. So it's a really good place to see, I guess, what game designers are trying to do to think outside of the box of what's already being done. And it's really cool to see kind of where Games Workshop's going with their new edition, and where all of these other new companies have been trying to expand upon the same kind of market with the miniature gaming and all of that. So gaming conventions, if you haven't ever been to one, which I know way too many people who haven't been, there's probably one within an hour drive of you every year. And if not, there's probably one within 2-hour drive of you every year. And it would be totally worth checking out, and I seriously recommend it, even if it's not 40K related. They're loads of fun. Okay, last epic thing here before we move on. Definitely Skared Cast. Make sure you guys check it out. He's pretty much the reason I'm making this podcast right now, because I've been dicking around about thinking of doing this for a long time, and I listened to enough of his podcast, and I was finally like, you know what, I should. And, he's on a really good site here on Podbean, so I figured I'd give it a try. So make sure you swing by Skared Cast. I also recently won a Warwalker from a giveaway he was doing on his podcast, so that's even more incentive to check it out, because you never know he's going to do more prizes. Not to mention, he's just awesome for doing prizes, so I'm going to put a link below, but it's Skared, as in Skared, not like scared. So check that out. He's really awesome. Skared's on 40K Nation and everything with us too, so we're on TeamSpeak all the time. And make sure you guys check out 40K Nation, because 40K Nation is pretty awesome. Alright, so moving right along. What armies have I been playing, and what games have I been playing? Well, pretty much ever since Origins, which was early June, it's been all Futthar all the time, mostly. So I kind of started my Futthar in late May to prepare for Origins. I think I played like 2 or 3 games before Origins, just to get ready for the tournament there. I've been having really good luck with it, so I've definitely been enjoying Futthar. I've been trying to get my army painted up, and essentially my general list runs around a few things. I've got 3 Warwalkers with double scatter lasers on all of them. It's pretty much a staple now in Futthar. I've got 2 Wraith Lords, Missile Launcher, Bright Lance, double Flamers. No fast attacks. Troops, I'm running 2 squads of Guardians, 1 with Bright Lance, 1 with Scatter Laser. I've got a squad of 8 Dire Avengers. I've got, and this is the main bulk of my army here, is a squad of 10 Wraith Guard with a Spirit Seer with Conceal, and I've got Eldrad, because he's a boss, and I've been running either Mog and Raw with that big blob of Wraith Guard and Eldrad, or if it's a game like Origins where you're allowed to use some Imperial Armor stuff, I've been running the Wraith Seer. And then to fill points, I just run, like 2 squads of Fire Dragons, 7 Fire Dragons with Exarch, Fire Pike, Crack Shot. And if I've got even more points, then I maybe throw in like some Scorpions or something like that. So that's pretty much been my Futthar list, and it's been doing very well. I'm really happy with it. At Origins, I went 2-0-1, I guess it's called. I won 2 games, drew 1, so I was really happy with that. Especially for the first tournament I played them in, only like the 4th game I've run them. Granted, I've been playing Eldar for like 15 years, but I've never played this kind of Eldar at all. So it's all been vehicles and all sorts of aspect warriors, each to complete these specific tasks. And Futhar's has been super easy to adjust to after doing that nitpicky, precise, obnoxious army for so long. So it's been a kind of a new breath in my Eldar army. Let's see, after Origins, in Origins I won. I beat Blood Angels, and then game 2 I drew against another Eldar player, which was, oh my gosh, that was a frustrating game. With all our psychic powers, we're both running Eldrad and everything, so it was a little bit ridiculous. If it went on another turn, I would have almost tabled him, and I know I would have had that game in the bag, but alas, random game length, it happens. And then round 3, I beat an Orc player, so I had a good time at Origins with the Futthar, running the Wraith Seer. Granted, the Wraith Seer, he is by no means point effective, so don't listen to me here saying I love the Wraith Seer and say, oh, that's going to make my army unstoppable. He is not as good as almost anything else you can take for those points. He's just really cool. I love the way he looks, and he's really intimidating. So after that, I ran them at a tournament the last day of 5th edition over in Stanton at Dragonsword, and I went 3-0 there with them, which was really fun. I played Black Templars for the first time ever. I fought Chaos, and then I fought Space Wolves, which I almost never fight Space Wolves, so that was good practice and good experience for both of those first and last games for sure. I didn't come in first though. There's one other guy that went 3-0, but my whole army's not painted and all this other stuff, so I ended up, I think, 4th after everything's said and done, but hey, I went 3-0, so I'm happy. In that game, that tournament, I ran Mog and Ra, which was, oh gosh, he saved my butt so many times. Mog and Ra's gun is amazing. I was not aware that there's this thing for Black Templars called Blessed Hole. Holy crap. I only had like 3 lance weapons in my army, and that's how I take care of land raiders. And then I found out that he ignores those with armor 14, and Magan-Ra, being the champ that he is, exploded it on turn 2. And then I found out that they run at you when you kill them, and that was a little bit freaky, but ended up taking care of them just in time. Really happy with the performance of my Fotar at the end of tail end of 5th edition. Kind of worried that they would get screwed over in 6th, but so far it seems like they've been doing pretty all right. There's actually a few things about my style of list that's made them better, specifically wound allocation. So now I can run Mog and Ra in the front of all my Wraith Guard. So now these missile launchers I'm always getting hit with don't ignore Mog and Ra's save, and he gets his 2+ with rerolls. And he's Eternal Warrior, so if I fail, it's not even a big deal, but it's a 1 in 36 chance. And if it's something that ignores his armor save, well, then I'll just look it out to one of the Wraith Guards. So that actually has made that unit even stronger than it already was, which is kind of scary. So let's see. Since then, yeah, I've been playing quite a few games with them. I think I've only lost 1 game with Fotar so far since I've started running them, and that was like a 500-point game right at the beginning, and it was pathetic. Really good luck with Fotar so far. Aside from Fotar, I ran a Necron list like 3 times, I think. Really like the Necron list. I posted a video about that one. The gist of it's a big blob of warriors with, decked out Lord, Cryptek with Veil of Darkness, potentially a regular Lord with a Res Orb. And they beam around the field and kill whatever they want to. And then I run 3 Knight Scythes with 5 warriors in it. And they just fly all the way forward, kill whatever they can. And then when they die, the warriors just walk off the table edge and control my objectives. And then 10 Scarabs and 3 Scarabs and 2 Spiders. And they just boost those and then send the Scarabs out. And then 2 Annihilation Barges. That's pretty much the army. So I played that 2 or 3 times, and I really like that. That list has been doing extremely well. Probably won't end up playing Necrons, but it was just kind of, dicking around, having fun with them. And aside from that, I did play my Thousand Suns once or twice recently, kind of just, try them out before the end of their codex and getting ready for the new one to drop. So that's pretty much it. I did have a pretty epic game with Imperium versus Xenos, 4,500 points the other day. I've got a battle report up for that if you want to see it. Lighting's kind of crap though, because it was like 4 in the morning by the time we finished. So, but it was an incredibly fun game. We had 3 ironclads dropping in on turn 1, and there was like 3 battle wagons, and everything was getting def rolled, and then it was insanity. It was a really fun game, so you should check that out for sure. But that's pretty much what I've been playing lately, and I have a feeling I'm going to get really back into my Thousand Suns when the new Chaos book comes out. Because I'm already really into it. I've been working on my Scorpion Defiler and everything like that, so I'm sure it's going to be pretty cool. Especially Thousand Suns, I've had a feeling are going to get a big boost, and now we get to see some of the rules, so kind of hoping for the best here. As far as what projects I've been working on, I have been painting the crap out of my Fotar, but there are so many, and it takes me so long. So if you've got any good tips for speed painting, I could certainly use some. Definitely just leave me a comment, because it's taking me forever. Specifically my Fotar, I've been repainting them all. If I had any painted at all, they're the color scheme I've had for like the past 6 or 7 or so years or longer, and it's time for a change. So I've been repainting and painting all of my Eldar, my new color scheme, which is purple and bleach bone with some blue gems on it. So it's kind of taken me a while. I've never really painted with purple before ever, so it's shading that's kind of painstaking, and getting like the same color out of it every time has been a little bit rough. So definitely could use some pointers on that if anyone's got some. I've got this incredible project coming up right now called Gascar. I guess I'll post a link below to some pictures for it so far, but Gascar is the last thing you ever need to know about 40K, and you will be set. You can just play Gascar forever, forget the rulebook, right? Gascar is going to be like the best. There is a similar thing or two I found out after I started making Gascar called Formula WOG. Now, Formula WOG is a little bit different than Gascar. It's actually entirely different. Formula WOG is basically orc racing, or just 40K racing, and it's pretty cool. It's clever. Gascar is a little bit different. Gascar is a little bit different attitude. Gascar is basically 40K, orcs specifically, meets NASCAR meets Gladiator. So basically what's going to happen is I'm making all these module pieces of road. I've already got like 8 or so made and painted and everything. And I'm making enough so you can switch out. The track will be different every time you play. And you're going to have, like 6 to 12 or so players and a tournament organizer. And basically the TO plays as Skared Cast. And as Skared Cast, you're on this giant hydraulic lift in the middle of the field. And there's this circular track, or oval track going around with all sorts of, some regular road pieces, some, cratered, blown up, wrecked vehicles, road pieces, some with like fire pits and shit like that, some collapsed bridge pieces, all sorts of weird stuff. And you're up here as Skared Cast on this giant hydraulic lift, watching the game, announcing the game, and controlling the game. And basically, the object of the game for the players is to complete, X number of laps around the track. But it's not that simple. Everybody has so many points that they can use to build their cars, and they can use, so they can use all these points to, like, they can make their truck, really fast and flimsy, or they can make it slow and armored, practically like a battle wagon. They can even add a death roll on it. But everything's at a trade-off. So if you buy one upgrade, you're not getting another. You might get a really flimsy truck with some boys in the back to help you push it or something like that, or fix it, or shoot down other vehicles, or you might even just have the back full of bomb squicks and you can just drop them off somewhere. So there's going to be, you can pretty much make whatever you want. You can make it have treads or wheels or spider legs, whatever you want. It'll all affect how your truck performs. And basically, there's not many rules. There's there's how far you can move based on what your vehicle is, and you're going to be going around this track. You can shoot at other cars. You can try to kill the other players. You can try to ram them. You can try going around the track backwards and death rolling them if you really feel like it. You can do whatever the crap you want, but the winner is the person who completes the most laps first. And as Skared Cast, every time someone completes a lap, every time someone wrecks or explodes or, anything weird like that, the crowd's getting excited. And as the crowd gets excited, all these orcs with their subliminal psychic powers, they're building up these WOG points. And as the tournament organizer, my job is to use these WOG points to make the game even more exciting and even more crazy, because that's what the crowd wants. They don't want to just see cars drive around a circle. They want to see cars driving around a circle while Carnifex wanders onto the field and starts ripping them in half, and while they're shooting each other, and while bomb squigs are rolling around. And so the more WOG points you get from the more crazy things happening, the more laps being completed, the bigger, more nasty, crazy things Skared Cast running this event can release into the field. The ultimate being a Stampa. So we're going to have in the inside of the track, along with the pit stop, which people will be in all the time, fixing up their immobilized or wrecked or whatever trucks that they're driving around. There's going to be, a cage with a Carnifex in it. There's going to be, some Dark Eldar witches with a raider with a giant boulder tied to it so they can't fly away. And they're just going to be unleashed into the field, or some Tyranid Gene Stealers are going to crawl up from one of the vents. And they're going to get run over, and they're going to jump on the trucks and kill them, and they're going to get shot at, and it's going to be insane. So that's basically Gascar. Got a lot of work to do for it, but that's been taking up some of my time. Another kind of crazy idea I'm trying to plan this event that I'm just going to be, it's just, it's extreme 40K. Basically, my roommates here, they have this bad habit of taking this giant leather couch and going on hikes, like 5 or 6 mile hikes up the side of mountains to like Mcafee's Knob over here where we live in Virginia, or Peaks of Otter, or the Cascades in Blacksburg, and then just setting up this couch, changing into tuxes, and doing a photo shoot at these ridiculous places. And everyone always thinks they're photoshopped, and they're incredible photos. So I thought, since my roommates play 40K anyway, why don't we pack up a mobile 40K table, of which we have many, pack up some compact terrain, and we'll go up there with like 6 or 8 people. We'll all bring 500-point armies, and we'll play like a 3 versus 3 or 4 versus 4 on Mcafee's Knob. Like, freaking awesome. Take some pictures, do a battle report at the top of the fucking world. So I want to kind of plan that. I think it'd be incredible. It'd be something, we're all talking about for a long time. It'd be a really fun experience. So have you guys ever played 40K in a weird, ridiculous, or really cool place that was kind of out of the ordinary? And did you have a good time? Or was it just like stupid and obnoxious to carry all your crap around? And I'll post some pictures of Mcafee's Knob as well, in case you've never seen it. Because I never had till I moved here. I've also been working on my Tarnell 6th edition update. If none of you are familiar with my Tarnell, it's basically this army I'm making from scratch. Kind of like, to describe it in simple terms that are wildly incorrect, they're kind of like futuristic mole people. They can control warp technology and have lasers. To be a little bit more specific, they live underground. They have 3 stages of life. It's sort of like an insect. There's the grunts, big working class grinders, which then turn into the slightly smaller intellectual tinkering kind of mechanical inventors, which are the shards, and then they turn into the no-lights, which are they're like the leadership class kind of. They're the organizers, the leaders. They have they see with psionic powers. The grinders and the shards have bioluminescence on them, so they can see underground. And so they've got these glowing spots that look like terrifying eyes piercing the darkness, but it's really just their bioluminescence. The no lights don't have any lights, and they just see with psionics because they're boss. So I've been working on that codex for quite a while. I've been trying out some really cool new concepts I feel 40K hadn't done before, and the army has a rule called reduce armor with their laser weapons, which reduces either your armor of a vehicle that they're shooting at by 1 or 2, or it reduces your armor save by 1 or 2. So instead of it being an all or nothing kind of thing, Terminator's taking a 3+ save instead of nothing. Instead of no effect or all effect, it just reduces saves. And they also have some of the vehicles can burrow up from underground, and they've got some some really cool options I feel haven't really been explored, like walker transports and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to be trying to update that some more for 6th edition, as well as adding new units and everything. So look forward to that. I'm sure I'll mention it if I do more podcasts, and I always do a video update when I get a really big section of it done. So. And finally, Behemoth. This is my Space Fleet battle game I've been kind of working on. A while ago, about a year and a few months ago, I kind of came up with the idea for this. And I've been working on it on and off since then. And I eventually this year actually, it might have been last year. It was like 6 or 8 months ago. I just kind of scrapped everything I had rule-wise and started over. I've still got all the fluff, which I can do in a completely separate thing because it's long. Just the basic setting for it. But I kind of scrapped all of the rules that I did have, and we brainstormed on the way back from Origins this year in the car and came up with a really cool new system for rules that I feel is a lot more simple and is different, and I really like it. So I'm working on Behemoth as well right now, as well as some models for it. So be sure to check in about that. And if you guys want any more information about any of this stuff, just let me know and I can send you some links, or, always happy to share information or a creative process. We kind of have this thing in 40K Nation we used to call the rule smiths, for those of us making our own games or our own codexes or rules or whatever. So we might end up getting that group back together. Okay, so that means it's time for What's Up With That. This past week, we were at a game store, kind of local. It's like 35 minutes, 40 minutes away. And right from the get-go, the owner of the store, we'd only been here like one other time, he's argumentative. He just disagrees with you on everything. Doesn't matter what your opinion, and he will find a way to disagree with you. Just for me, personality differences, I can't stand it. We're in there to buy some stuff and to play a game. We get done buying. We bought about $150 worth of stuff between my friend and I, and we buy some paints and that, and after he rings us up, he starts bragging about how he's jacked the price of the paints up 4 cents. This way he doesn't have to give out change because it comes to an even $4, which that's fine, whatever. I don't care that much about 4 cents. But why are you bragging to your customers who you just sold paint to that you're essentially ripping them off? And of course, this is another problem that I'll get to in a minute. Game stores don't have prices listed. I don't know what it is, but they don't have prices. They think it's okay to just not label anything. So, we don't even know that the price is different than from GW. He could have charged $20 for it. We wouldn't know until we went to go check out. Because, simply nothing is marked. So, anyway, moving on from that. He then starts going on, about he starts bragging about how he banned somebody else from the store and yada yada, and just generally just not being a good business owner. And I'm really starting to get tired of him. Well, so we take our $150 worth of crap, we bring it out to the car, put it away, and we bring our armies in to play a game. And now at this point, there's about 440K players in there. Two are playing on a 4x4, one's playing on a 4x6. He's still got 2 tables open for Magic, which there will be no one there till 7 o'clock. It's 2 p.m. on a Friday. And those tables are open. And then there's a 4x8 table, in the back, that he says is for, he said that RPGers use it, but it's not there's no RPGers, on this Friday. So, we bring our stuff in, and he's like, you guys weren't planning on playing, were you? You guys aren't playing, are you? Yeah, and it's yeah, I was kind of hoping to, came to the game store to, buy some stuff and play a game, hang out, talk, shoot the shit with some people there, kind of meet some of the 40K players in this town. And, he just starts giving us this hassle about, I really don't want to, this table in the back, I don't really want to, if we don't have to, can you use the 4x4 that they're not using? And it's just I don't know what the problem is, but I'm playing 1850, I'm not going to play on a 4x4, that's stupid. So I'm well, no, we really couldn't do it on a 4x4. Is it okay if we use this table? And he keeps making out to be this huge hassle. It is the end of the world. It is going to waste hours of his time to let us play on this table. And it's already cleared off. There's nothing on it. We could just throw some terrain on there and we're good. And it's just, I don't know. I got sick and tired of this. And after about 2 or 3 minutes of him giving us the runaround and acting like it's the biggest fucking problem in the world, I just told him, I'm you know what, I'm just going to go home and play at my house because I've got tables there. So it's, I don't know what it is, but this guy was just a dick. I really don't understand what the mentality is here. And this is the same, we already decided we're not going back to the store anymore. This is the same kind of thing we were getting from the Cosmic Castle a while before they banned us, where every time we come in, I could drop $500 there, and they don't give a shit. They just want to disagree with you, and then give you a hassle about using their table space. And I just don't understand what that's about. It seems to be happening more and more. So I guess I just don't understand what's up with some of these game store owners. To me, there's two kinds of game store owners. There's a really awesome game store owner that hopefully all of you have in your area, and they love the game, one of the games. Maybe not 40K, maybe they're a big Magic player, or maybe they were like really into Mage Knights or whatever when that was around. And they started a game store because they want a place to hang out with their friends. You know, they wanted to keep the games going in their community, or they just wanted to, do that kind of stuff, for a living instead of, they just wanted, they love the game. They love their friends. They love the community, and they're in it for the joy of it. And those guys are awesome. Tim, who ran Beholder's Eye down here, is like that. He's awesome. I don't recall her name, but the lady that runs Game Vault up in Fredericksburg, she's really awesome. I talked to her for a while after Art Boys. And, these game store owners are fantastic. The guy who runs Fortress up in Michigan, these are the people I've interacted with my whole life. It's just recently I've been noticing a bunch of these game store owners that are just complete dicks, and I don't understand it. Is this a common thing? I mean, do you guys have a specific store in your area you don't go to because the owner there is just kind of, I don't know, I guess ruining it for everybody? He's just kind of killing the atmosphere? Or do you guys have one of those awesome game store owners? I guess let me know, and hopefully you guys all have awesome game store owners. And so game stores not labeling their prices, that's another thing that really frustrates me. I know Games Workshop changes their prices a lot, which is why I don't know how much anything is, which is why I have to keep asking him every time I go to a game store. I mean, I know it's a hassle to reprice everything, but it's only once a year. And you know what? I don't want to bring a stack of 15 things up to you every 5 minutes to ask you how much they are, and then make you go through the hassle, scan, delete, and then have me try to remember what all the prices of all of them were so I can add up what I can get with how much money I have and figure all that out. You know what? I would buy a lot more if there were freaking prices on things. And going with GW prices, I don't really understand their pricing scheme anymore. I thought I understood it. Their tactic was raise prices every year, new codexes come out, and they lower the point cost of models, so you have to buy more models to have just as many points. They make the units you already have too expensive, so they're worthless, and then they make new units, or units that used to be crap, ridiculously good, so you have to buy more. And, they raise the prices of everything. Well, now they took the Wraith Guard in blisters from 15 or 20 bucks a pop and put Mcafee cast in them, which always raises the price. And then they put 5 in a box for $59, which is $40 less than they used to be. I'm not able to comprehend it right now. My mind's about to explode. But then it's simultaneously, as just to make sure that I don't get tricked into thinking they're onto some kind of lower their price trend. They take 1,000 Sun box, and now you have to buy a box of Chaos Marines for $37.25, and now you have to buy separately the 1,000 Sun Fine Cast upgrade crap for 21 bucks. So instead of it being the ridiculous, outrageous $41.25 that it was for 9 models, or the Plague Marines are $45 for 7 models, now it's $58.25 for my 9 models. Granted, I get an extra guy or something and some extra bits that I can't use with my 1,000 Sun crap anyway because they can't take heavy bolters, but that doesn't really help me, does it? So now I'm just paying another $17 for shit I don't need, and not much of it either. So I just don't. Can they meet somewhere in the middle? Make the Wraith Guard 70, make the 1,000 Suns 50. That's just ridiculous. Okay, and finally for this section, for the what's up with that crap, these new Chaos models. I don't think I understand them. I don't think I get where they're coming from. I think they look cool. I just think they don't look Chaos. When you put them in a Chaos army, I say that looks like crap because it doesn't look like Chaos. They'd be like if they made a Tau Hammerhead and they put it in the Chaos Codex. It's not necessarily that the Tau Hammerhead looks like crap, but given the context, it looks like crap. I would say that's a poor design choice. The Chaos models, I think they look sweet. I also think they're still trying to pull some of the crowd from Privateer Press, like they were with some of the new Dark Eldar stuff. But whatever, they've got to do what they got to do. But to me, how is it that Chaos don't have Stormbolters? Because they weren't around after, like during pre-heresy. Like they weren't pre-heresy, so they don't have Stormbolters. But they can design and develop and build and manufacture flying drakes to go shoot and tear apart flyers, when a well-designed fighter would be more effective, less likely to break, more efficient, and it would just cost less to build. Like, everything about it would be better if they designed it with as much effort and spent as much money or resources on it. So I'm not really sure why they have this sudden like fetish with all these animal robots for Chaos. But you know what they would be cool for? If you look at these, the two Fiend models, the big walker thingies with the 4 legs and the 2 arms, they look like Carnifex covered in metal armor. That's exactly what they look like. They strangely have hooves in the back and claws in the front. Don't understand that. But ignoring that, they look like Carnifex covered in metal. And you know what that would be sweet for? If they made some kind of... It could even be Dark Mechanicum or whatever the crap they want to call it, and make it its own codex. It could be some cool new army we've never seen before, some cool new race we've never seen before, and they go around and they have this device that blocks out the hive mind, and then they mind control Tyranids, cover them in armor, and throw them into battle. That's what that looks like, and that would be awesome. So I feel like the new cast models are sweet. I just think they don't make sense in the context. And so finally, to wrap it up, heading into list idea. This is a list I call Dakkadar that I wrote about on 40K Nation a while ago, right after 6th edition came out. I've got a 2K list and a 2.5, 2,500 point list. The general thing both of these lists have that makes it Dakkadar, in my opinion, is 3 squads of 3 Warwalkers, so 9 Warwalkers with all scatter lasers. That's pumping out 72, I think, if I'm doing math correctly. 72 strength 6 shots every turn, 36 inches, and they can outflank if they need to. And 3 squads of 3 Warwalkers with missile launchers. Missile launchers strength 8 AP3. They can fire the blast, which is strength 4 AP4, and pinning. It's a lot better than the Space Marine missile launchers. And the volume of fire, just 18 missile launchers. That stuff, I mean, you don't even need to guide it to take down flyers, but you can if you really want to. So you've got those 18 Warwalkers at 2,000 points, 4 squads of Guardians, 2 with scatter lasers, 2 with missile launchers. So there's another 12 strength 6 shots and another 2 missile launcher shots. And then the Avatar, just a little bit of anti-tank, in case you're fighting some armor 14 and you don't have time to, hull point it to death. And because he's got a melt gun. And then you've got Eldrad and a Farseer with just guide. When you bump that up to 2.5, you're going to add another Farseer with just guide, and 2 more squads of Guardians, 1 with scatter laser, 1 with missile launcher, and then you're going to add 3 squads of 5 Fire Dragons, just to help take care of those land raiders you're probably going to end up seeing once you get up to those point levels. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's just volume of fire. It's like, what is that, 84 shots, strength 6 every turn. You're twin linking 72 of them with Eldrad and the other Farseer. You've got good psychic defense. Your only real weakness is armor 14. And if you're really worried about it, you could maybe drop 1 squadron and add in some Fire Dragons or something. So that's pretty much it. So thanks for... hopefully this wasn't too horribly long. I was probably shooting for 30 minutes. That's probably more like 45 or an hour. But I'm going to try to condense this, make it more efficient every time. Let me know what you guys think. Give me some feedback. And I guess I will talk to you guys in the next podcast.